So as I was saying, whenever I would say I'm trying my best today, I don't know. And then I'm going to use some Coca-Cola or something. Had the first glass or sip growing up. She would remove her glasses. They brought something, let's say they brought like, you do not open it, you do not touch it. And I be resuming from the very first. If in Swahili we say umemea pembe, it's going to fail. If you're doing well in school, that means you're serious. Hi guys, welcome to today's super relaxing Hi guys, welcome to today's super relaxing ASMR session. Hope you enjoy this tingles. And do not forget to like and subscribe. To our channel. So in tonight's session, I am going to be doing keratin and hair food serum and conditioner treatment. It's long since I've done the hair treatment on him, especially the keratin one. So today his hair is going to feel much healthier and not as itchy. Also, household to be specific. So I'm gonna be resuming from the very first video I did. Be sure to check that out to hear a lot more of my experiences. Growing up, being raised by my grandma. Well, not only me, but my cousins and I. So another funny fond memory I have growing up is whenever I would say something that's deemed disrespectful to my grandma, she would remove her glasses to hear me properly. The masks. Oh, this smells so good. It smells like candy. There's a strong vanilla smell. This is the Shea Moisture Jamaican black castor oil. It's used to strengthen and restore the hair. Then I use some keratin reconstructive hair mask from Pantene. And then I'm going to use some hydration hemp from Tresemme. It's more of a shampoo, but it deeply hydrates the hair. I'm gonna mix this up. Yeah, so as I was saying, whenever I would say something disrespectful to my grandma growing up, she would remove her glasses, and at that time she doesn't see me well because she needs glasses like to see. So she would remove her glasses to hear me properly. Like, what did you just say? For example, if I'm moody and she tells me, do this or do that, and I'm like, yes, I'll get to it. If I say it in a tone that she doesn't like, she'll be like, what did you just say? And she's looking at the wrong direction because she can't see me after removing her glasses to hear me. I don't know if you guys understand. And this is a common thing in some African households, so I'm sure some of you people can understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so this is another thing. When you are growing up, my cousins and I, we wouldn't like go to play with a friend from school, unless the friend was your neighbor, like really close neighbor. You wouldn't go to play. Like the way I see Western kids riding their bicycle, and going to like 3 or 4 blocks away. That was not acceptable. Where I grew up, you would play with the neighbors' kids, and also you would be in a distance where when you get cold you can hear. So there used to be a lot of yelling from parents. If you hear Sheila, you'd have to stop playing whatever game you're playing. You go help out if it's fetching water, and then come back and resume playing. It's so crazy because I see Western kids riding their bikes to go, or catching a bus to go visit a friend. Also growing up, there was nothing like sleepovers. Even sleeping over at family members' houses, that was not allowed. So many of us, like my cousins and even my friends, we didn't grow up with that thing of I'm gonna sleep over at so and so's house. It was really not a thing. It was not encouraged, and really nobody did it. It's crazy because even sleeping over at a cousin's house, it really didn't happen. Like, I'm the type of person up to today, I don't really go visit and sleep over at anyone's house, apart from, of course, my mother-in-law's house, and that's in another town. But yeah, it's crazy how it's a thing in the Western world that kids just go to sleep over, at friends' houses and stuff. So it's something also that we're not going to do with our daughter. There will be no sleepovers for her until she's like, I don't even know, I can't say right now, but I've heard some crazy things about those sleepovers, so I don't know if I'm even up for it ever. I remember this is actually quite funny. So since we are given homework at school to go do it at home, if your guardian, let's say your parent or your guardian, doesn't see you doing the homework, when you get from school, that just automatically tells them that you're not serious about like school or life. Basically, they'll just start telling you you're not serious about life, because honestly, in East Africa, I'm saying specifically East Africa because I don't want people like saying, oh, that's not how it is where I come from or the part of Africa I'm from. Yeah, honestly, in East Africa, school is seen as, your whole entire life. Like, if you do well in school, that means that you have a good life, So, I'm gonna zoom this so that you guys can be able to see, like, up close what I'm doing. Yeah, so as I was saying, if you're doing well in school, or you're showing seriousness and like doing your homework in front of your parents or guardian, then that means you're serious about your life, But if you come home from school and you just dump your books in a corner and you don't study, yeah, so as I was saying, if you're doing well in school, that means you're serious about your life. And if you're like doing your homework in front of your guardian and you're taking like schoolwork, like seriously, that shows them that you're serious about your life, and that you're serious about school, like you're serious about the future you want. But if you come home from school and you just dump your bag and you don't open your books that night, basically what you're telling them is you're not serious about school and you want to fail, which then translates into them telling you you're gonna be a failure, since you don't show enough interest. And I'm like, haven't I been showing interest the whole day at school? Why you can't say that, you just think it. I think in African households you just cannot say what you think. You're not supposed to, like, think out loud, Of course they encourage critical thinking, but not so this is a funny one. Since in East Africa we use like rugs to wipe the floors, we don't buy rugs. We use our old clothes that have holes. And you just don't use any clothes, you use one that you've been wearing for so long that it's in tatters. Then it becomes a rag. You just can't pick a new cloth or even when your cloth is new and it gets a hole, you have to mend it, and wear it for years and years to come. Even up to today, I feel horrible when I buy a new towel to wipe the floors, because I really like to wipe the floors with my hands, I don't like to use electric cleaners. My husband bought a cleaning robot that he uses to clean the house when it's his turn to clean the house, but I still use my bucket and rag to clean the house. Did I say that we have some specific clothes growing up? We had some specific clothes we would wear to church. You wouldn't just, wear anything and just go to church, because that would show that you don't respect God enough, So you have to go looking your best, not just aimlessly. I know it might sound ridiculous to some, but actually now that I'm grown up, I kinda understand it, in the sense that, first of all, you're going to God's house, right? You can't just go in your, torn and tattered clothes, because if you are going for an interview, you go dressed nice, So if you can give your potential employee your best self, you show up dressed to the nines, surely you can give God your best, and show up to church dressed well. So when we come from church, usually we would remove the clothes and put them back on the hanger, if there was a hanger, or put them back in the suitcase. In my case, I had a suitcase, because the dress is not dirty. You wore it to church. It's not dirty. It's not like you sat in the chairs and then you come back home. You remove the dress and put it back in the suitcase, and then, wear your home clothes. So I remember I would wash my church clothes once every 2 months, because I never really wore them around home. Yeah, I would wear my church clothes also if I had a wedding, if there was a wedding in the neighborhood or a wedding at church. Then I would wash it, because with a wedding there's so much going on, people are walking around, there's food involved, Also if there was a funeral, but that depends on if the person who died was a close family member, then we would dress well. This side. I remember, if you did something wrong in my grandma's household, well, I'll call a household because it was her house. If you did something wrong, she would tell you, go and cut your own stick to beat you outside. We are living in a village, so there's trees all over. Should be bring the best stick you can find. Find it yourself and bring it. So the whole time you're going with a machete, because we used machetes a lot around the farm. It was was really more like a farmhouse. Yeah, so you'd go with a machete to cut a branch, and you would try to find one that's not green, because green means raw, which means that it's heavy and it will hurt more. So you go and find maybe a dried bamboo, and sometimes if she's paying attention, she'd be like, this will not hurt, bring one that will hurt. So you have to go back again, and your heart is beating and you're scared. You bring one that she'll say, okay, this is good, and then she'll say, give me your hands, and then she'll beat you as she's telling you what you did wrong. For example, if you spoke back, you'll be like, I am telling you, as she's beating you, like, I'm telling you, don't. As she's beating you, she's repeating to you what you did wrong, and she's like, I'm telling you, don't speak to me like that ever again. The whole time she's beating you, you know. And as I said in the very first video, you're not allowed to cry so loud or scream because you're calling attention to the homestead, or be melodramatic, or even be silent, because if you're silent that means that you're a hardened criminal and you've grown horns. I mentioned this in the first video. Yeah, so growing horns, that is more like you've become, in Swahili we say, umemea pembe. Like, you've grown horns, you feel that you're bigger now. And then in the middle of it, she'll even ask you, now you wanna beat me? And at that moment, you can't even laugh. If you laugh, it's over for you. Like, literally over. It's the worst thing you can ever do. Laughing when you're being beaten, you know. For example, if she's beating you, talking to you, and she misses, and you find that funny and you laugh, oh, the whole, let's say, district would hear about that, and they would be shocked. And everywhere you went, they would point at you, like, that is the kid that beat up her grandma. And everybody would hate you, or be afraid of you, or whisper behind your back. Well, it never happened to me, but I would see it happen to others, you know. But usually if something like that has spread, it's because you are truly a hardened, like, criminal. Not criminal like a criminal who deserves to be locked up, but more like a child who doesn't listen to the parents, and everybody knows that that's a very bad kid, a bad influence. And parents do not want you around their kids because they think you will spread your bad manners, you know. So yeah, you don't laugh, you don't cry over dramatically, and you don't talk back while you're being beaten. You can probably wince like, ow, ow, and show a solemn face, basically, or apologize. If you apologize, it will go much quicker and easier and better for you. Guys, I'm sorry, I just keep noticing that the camera is out of focus sometimes. I'm trying my best today. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I hope so. I just hope that the footage is not gonna be so blurry and out of focus. This is a funny one. I guess all of them are funny. If there's a thunderstorm Like you don't move around and you don't wear red. Because if you wear red, then you'll be struck by lightning. And trust me, most people in an East African home know that if you're struck by lightning, that people wear red. You're taught that if you wear red during a thunderstorm, when there's lightning, you'll be struck by lightning, and your home too might be struck by lightning if you dare peep out, you know. So you stay indoors and you let it pass. And trust me, if at all that was true and you got struck by lightning, your guardian would still beat you up. Because they want you not to do it, you know, and you did it. So there's also this thing that if guests came to visit and they brought something, let's say they brought like soda or let's say cake or bread, you do not open it, you do not touch it. You may ask for permission to have some, and you do not open it until like your mom or your guardian, let's say my grandma in this case, has opened it first, tasted it, like had the first slice, and then she can give it to you, you know. You don't just go opening and eating it freely, you know. That's just how we were raised. Also like soda, let's say Coca-Cola or something, or juice. You wait until they've had the first glass or sip, and then they may give it to you. Yeah, also when guests came, let's say family members or something came to visit, and they gave you money, or you went somewhere and you were given money, you would give it to your parent, or they're the ones that would receive it on your behalf, even though you're standing right there. And trust me, you won't see that money again. My sister actually told me it used to happen. Since our mom passed on, I would send my younger sister money, my little sister money, and my auntie, who's now her guardian, would take the money. Like, give her just a portion and tell her, well, this is what you'll get. And then the rest she would keep it. And my sister once, out of sheer ignorance, asked for the money back. It became such a big case. We usually say police case. Not really like police, but we say like sarcastic, hey, this is not a police case. But yeah, it became like a police case because my auntie cried that my sister was accusing her of stealing the money. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it became a police case. How do I say this without meaning it? Like, how do I say hypothetically or something like that? Yeah. So yeah, you don't ask for it, and if you do ask, sometimes your guardian will tell you, do I charge you rent? Do I charge you the food you eat every day? Do I ask you back? Do I ask you for money? Why are you asking me for money? So just know, if you go somewhere and you're given money, it's not yours. If your parent receives it, it's not yours. So there's also this thing about directions. Growing up, even now I think it's still the same in my grandma's village, in the village I grew up in. There are no directions, you know, the way you see, like in Europe. Everywhere you go, there's like directions to tell you the street number, street name. Where I grew up, there is nothing like that. So you go just greeting random people, asking them for directions. God forbid you travel at night one will know where you're going. And they'll stop over at your house and say, can you just give me a place to stay tonight? And in those times, yeah, they would let you stay. Like even now, in small villages, they let you stay. Be like, okay, we'll give you room and board without charging you, you know. Yeah. So that was really crazy. I don't know if I mentioned in the first video that if you are sick and you eat food, that means you're not very sick. Because apparently someone who's very sick starves to death. Yeah, so in the mind of my grandma, if you're eating food, that means you're not very sick. I told a story in the first video that I made that I was sick of, I had malaria and I was quite sick. And when my grandma cooked food, I asked her what kind of food, and it became such a big case. Like all my aunties and uncles and relatives heard about it. But in my defense, I had malaria, so I was a little bit delirious or hallucinating. Because as I was saying then, and as I said then, you can't ask what, or you can't say what to your parents. It's so guardian, it's really like disrespectful. Anyway guys, I'm gonna end this video here. Apparently it's kinda itchy for him because his hair was quite dirty. So I'm gonna stop this video here. And hopefully it's not so blurry. The focus today was just giving me, you know, it was trying my patience. Every time I looked